song, huh? Like Mariana? You like the vamp, huh? Vamp till ready, huh? The fault says she is dripping and the fence she's fallen down. My pocket needs some money so I can go into town. My brother isn't working and my sister doesn't care. The car, she needs a motor so I can go anywhere. Mañana, mañana, mañana is good enough for me. My mother's always working, she's working very hard. But every time she looks for me, I'm sleeping in the yard. My mother thinks I'm lazy, and maybe she's right. I've gotta work mañana, but I gotta sleep tonight. Mañana, mañana, mañana is good enough for me. Oh, once I had some money, but I gave it to my friend. He said he'd pay me double, it was only for a lane. But he said a little later that the horse, she was so slow. Why he gave the horse my money is something I don't know. Mañana, mañana, mañana is good enough for me. Hey, say you're tired. Why you don't play chords, huh? Go ahead, play.
Good morning, and welcome to Daywave. It is a Monday show. It is a Monday show here on Daywave, and yes, I have shaved. I know I am seeing the comments. I have actually shaved and trimmed up. The sink was a mess when I was done, but now look. This is what I look like now, folks. I don't know if it's worse. I don't know if it's better. I don't know. But anyway, look, guys, good morning, everybody. Nice trim or something about the eye bags. I can't help that. But that's something I've had my whole life. I mean, you go back to the first episode of the show to this episode of the show. I know I have terrible bags under my eyes. It's all the time, though. And I actually slept well last night. I don't look like I look like an Al Qaeda terrorist today, which is nice. So I got that going for me. This weekend, what did I do this weekend? I did dinner with some friends and the birthday dinner with a friend. I went yesterday to my over to my parents' place for a bit. Hung out at the pool. The storm never really affected us here. That whole hurricane or whatever bullshit didn't really do anything here. I don't know if it did anything down south, but I could tell you it really didn't do nothing here. Nothing here at all. But I don't know, man. This is like I told you before when we were talking about the Florida thing. Like, you know, when it comes to Florida, unless it's like a really like at least Cat 3 or up, for the most part, we don't really care. We don't. Like, it doesn't really affect us in any way. So, yeah, I'm tan because I was in the pool just hanging out, getting myself. I think the term is chillaxed. Just chillaxifying myself over the weekend. Hey, Miami Milf, how was the storm though? Nothing in South Florida, huh? So the storm was pretty much a big dud. Mo Green and escort scammed me last night. Now that's a story. Scammed you how, sir? Scammed you how, sir? I mean, I'm assuming, sir, the name is Mo. How were you scammed? 65 mile per hour winds. That ain't shit though. I mean, for Florida, that ain't jack fucking shit. Total dud here. A TV said the dollar is plummeting. Daywave. I'm not sure what your Trump bucks are gonna do. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I've been with all that stuff, you know. I have been when it comes to all that shit. I just. And it's not that I shouldn't care. I mean, obviously we should all care. We should all care if our money's worth something. But You can't keep up. The XFL has been bought by a prominent celebrity. Breaking news. They're saying it's The Rock now. The XFL shut down operations earlier this year, but the upstart Football League could be looking to make a comeback. According to a report by Sportico, the Football League, formerly owned by Vince McMahon, has reportedly been purchased by a prominent celebrity. Sportico reports that Dwayne The Rock Johnson is part of a group that has purchased the XFL for... All right, for those that don't know, I want you guys to guess. How much do you think the XFL was purchased for? If you had to guess, how much do you think? Don't cheat. I don't know if you're cheating. How much do you think the XFL was purchased for? The Extreme Football League. $1. Don't Price Is Right rule me. Come on, now. Don't Price Is Right rules me. Don't do that shit. Someone said 12 million. The closest without going over, $15 million. The XFL was purchased for $15 million. That's right. They bought the XFL for $15 million. I mean, in the grand scheme of that, $15 million to you and me is, of course, a fucking lot of money, but that's not a lot of money. That's not much money. But it's been bought, and I guess Dwayne The Rock Johnson owns it. Or at least part of... I mean, they always say that because that's a prominent celebrity in the group, but, you know, basically what that means is that he's part of a group. Who knows how much he invested into that group. That group probably wanted a name, you know, so they could cut Under Armour promos and all that shit. You know, so that's probably what happened, if I had to guess. It's not much of a league. I don't know, man. I mean, I was, when the XFL was on, I was really, really enjoying it. I really was. I was enjoying the XFL big time. I have never seen the show Ballers. People, you know, talk about mixed reviews. Like, either people really love that show or they really fucking hate that show. I can't seem to find a middle ground when it comes to that. Dwayne Wave, yeah. Like Magic Johnson and the Dodgers. Yeah, they say Magic Johnson owns the Dodgers. He does, kind of, but, I mean, he's part of a group that owns the Dodgers. They always like to put a big name whenever they have these, like, big purchases and stuff because it kind of makes people go, oh, The Rock owns it? I like The Rock. I liked Hobbs and Shaw. But, I mean, I do actually like The Rock. I am a fan of The Rock. Magic Johnson also had HIV, and it's not traceable anymore. To be fair to Magic, HIV and it's not traceable. I was yesterday. I was watching. Was it? Yeah, no, it wasn't yesterday. I guess it doesn't really matter. I was watching. I think Saturday. The NBA came back, and they're playing over here at the Bubble. Like, they're calling it the Bubble, right? And they basically, over here in Orlando, they have something called the Wide World of Sports, right? So what the Wide World of Sports is, it's like this huge sports complex. It's where the Braves do their spring league. So anyway, I was watching that, and it's really interesting to me, you know? It's really interesting to me to watch that. Like, to watch the NBA without a crowd. Like, they had like the virtual crowd and stuff like that, where they had like, I guess, I don't know how you sign up for it. Somebody told me, like, you know, you sign up for something and then you could be like in the stands or whatever, but virtually. So like, you're at a webcam, and then they show your screen on there. Now, look, I mean, I watch some basketball. I mean, look, fair weather fan, probably bigger when I'm a Heat fan. So when they had LeBron and stuff and they were winning, I watched it more. Don't really watch it now. But what I realize is that this bubble that the NBA is doing is they have all of the players staying at like Disney hotels, and they're not allowed to leave. Like they're allowed to take the bus to the wide world of sports to play the games and go back. They're staying at the nicer hotels. I think like the Grand Floridian, the Yacht and Beach Club, stuff like that. So they're nicer hotels. But I was watching, and they're just complaining about the food. They're not allowed to see their families or anything either. Like through the rest of the season, they're not. They are basically stuck in these hotels, and for a lot of people that go to Disney, it's a big deal. Like some people go to Disney maybe once or twice in their lives, they're able to afford it because Disney's expensive, obviously, especially if you don't live here. Disney's very, very expensive. So the thing that I found interesting was how these players are complaining staying at the nice hotels. And they are. They're posting pictures of the food. And look, to be fair, the food looks like fucking trash. I mean, it really does. The food looks like fucking garbage. Okay? It really does. But I mean, guys are getting paid millions of dollars, right? To fucking play a game. Chill out, guys. Like seriously, chill the fuck out. I don't know, because I was thinking like baseball's pretty much done. I can't imagine baseball's going to continue, right? Like I don't see it happening. I don't see baseball continuing past this. It's how can it? They travel too much, and when football comes, they're not going to be able to do this bubble. You know what I mean? They're not going to be able to do this bubble. Think about it. There's 53 players on a team. Like, I mean, we need to take up a whole entire city. The stadiums are huge. It's not like basketball courts. Basketball courts are small. You could have like 10 in one little area. The Marlins are set to play tomorrow. Yeah, we'll fucking see. I mean, that's all I can tell you is we'll fucking see. I don't know if they're actually going to be playing, to be honest with you. Maybe they'll play, but I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. With how many starters, yeah, but that's the problem. So think about it. The football team. Sure, they can play in front of empty stadiums, but aren't they going to have the same problems that they're having with Major League Baseball? I don't know, but anyway, I just thought it was funny seeing these multi-million dollar NBA players complaining about like the food stuff, where people only go like once in a lifetime, are able to take their family, to these things, and look, Disney food is terrible. I get it, but just fucking suck it up, guys, and just play, please. Sucks too, because normally football will be starting a month and a week from now. Yeah, I know. And have they announced what they're going to do with football? I really don't know. Have they announced what they're going to do with football? I haven't kept up with that. I honestly have no idea. No clue. Some Disney food is good. No, it's not. It's really not. I mean, you think it's good because, you're here and you're on vacation, but is it really good? It's Disney food, man. It's not. Not true. That restaurant, the Grand Floridian's amazing. Which one? Victoria and Albert's? It's okay. I mean, look, for the money, it's okay. Victoria and Albert's is like this 5-star restaurant that they have at the Grand Floridian, right? But it's all right. I've been there before. I've had a meal. It was like $400 for 2 people. I don't know. Is it great? Is it really? But yeah, man, I don't know. It's, I guess when when you live here, you kind of get bored of it when you go to Disney a lot and stuff like that. I don't know. Universal has better fits. Emerald's is light years better. Well, sorry, JJ. Emerald's is closed. Emerald's was closed 6-7 months ago. Now it's some barbecue place. So, sorry. The food at Club 33 is okay. Oh, you've been at Club 33? So Club 33, and I know, what's it called? Masonic symboling. Maybe. I really don't know. But Club 33 is, when Walt opened Disney World, they did something called Club 33. What Club 33 is kind of like a VIP area. A VIP area for like the high-end guests. Like you wanted a place for high-end execs and this and that. And to get into Club 33, I mean, it's like a $30,000 thing. You would have to wait like, I think like some people wait 4 years. I mean, if you're a celebrity, you get right in. Can you get in without being a Mason? That's a really good point. I don't know. But they still have it, and you need like a special key card to get in. The food is supposed to be better. It's actually, really good food. It was the only place for until very, very recently in Disney that served alcohol. Like there was no alcohol that was being served in Magic Kingdom up until a few years ago. But to be honest, I really enjoyed Epcot's food. Yeah, food and wine. Well, the reason the Epcot food's a little better is because all the little pavilions at Epcot are owned by the country's tourism, like Board of Tourism. That's who owns them. So yeah, I don't know, man. Club 33 is a lot of people wait a long time to get in there. They do. And that's why the Epcot food is so good. You want to see Walt's frozen body? It's in the middle of the. Okay, Darren, I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna ask you this question because it made me laugh. Would you? Would that make you want to go to a place or not want to go to a place? If Walt's frozen body was in the middle of the restaurant, because I kind of would want to go. Or how about just his head? Like his head frozen. Would that be enough for you to want to go? Because I kind of feel like I would want to go then. It's just in the middle, maybe like float, like not well, kind of like Demolition Man, where his head was frozen in the middle. They're waiting for, well, I mean, was it like Family Guy made the joke, are the Jews gone yet? It would make you want to go more, right? I'd go and get a pic. Yeah, next to Walt's head. Yeah, exactly. Like, well, not like Futurama, because in Futurama, they're alive, right? Like, that's how that works. In Futurama, they're actually alive. So, more like a Demolition Man is what I'm thinking. You look like Royce. Old look. 2, you look like babyface Royce. I don't know. Well, whatever. I shaved. That's what happened. I got sick of all of that. Only if his head is at the table. Fair enough. His head's just sitting at the fucking table. While he screams internally about the demographics of the restaurant, you're able to see his frozen eyes. Yeah, Walt was Walt was something. I think Walt, one of the criticisms was in the beginning of the early part of the Nazi parties, he did give a tour to one of the more high-ranking people in the Nazi Party of Disney. Now, mind you, this is before the unpleasantness, if you would. I know he was also big against. Spoke against communism in Hollywood, because that was a big issue too. Was all the communism that was going on in Hollywood. So, once he died, they changed everything. They basically screwed his family out of his money. I mean, they gave him some money. Don't get me wrong. Walt's family's okay, but they did screw him out of a lot of money. They really did. Don't be stupid, be a smarty, come join the Nazi Party. Look, that sounds like a good shirt, maybe a good poster. Yeah, the unpleasantness. Before the unpleasantness. That's what unpleasantness is a good way to describe it. It was unpleasant for pretty much everybody involved. That's why he went after Russia instead of the EU. Yeah, there's an old Mickey Mouse Nazi propaganda. Yeah, we've played it. It's the... Are you talking about the Donald Duck one? Because that was an anti-Nazi one. I mean, Donald Duck was dressed as an SS member, but it was definitely... Before the shenanigans. Before it got a little, before it got a little crazy. Yeah. But yeah, it was a Donald Duck thing. I don't think there was a pro-Nazi video. I kind of feel like I would have heard of that by Disney. Pretty sure there wasn't a pro-Nazi video. War propaganda cartoons are crazy though. Like, we've played them. I mean, they're fucking nuts. Those Nazis and their fucking shenanigans. Fucking Nazi shenanigans. Donald Ducksy, yeah, basically. There's never been pro-Nazi. Yeah, there's never been a pro-Nazi Disney cartoon. I didn't think so. I don't recall one. Are you going to use your melanated privilege for good or bad? Chaotic neutral. How about that? Chaotic neutral. Depends on the situation.
Whoa! Look at that.
Good morning, Royce. Let's start off this week right.
Okay. Reich. Oh, it's been a while. Right, oh, night, oh, right, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So wrong, so right, oh, right, oh, right, oh, yeah. Royce, have you ever been to the Moroccan land? Yeah, I've eaten at the restaurant a couple times. The food's not bad. If you for Middle Eastern food, it's actually pretty good. I mean, I recommend if you go to Epcot, check it out. And there's usually rarely a wait at the restaurants all the way in the back, and there is rarely a wait there, and it's pretty good. The food is very good. I mean, again, like I said, I recommend it. I highly recommend it. But anyway, enough of this. I'm going to chat for 25 minutes, guys. You only fucking keep going like this. This is your fault. It's your fault. You let me keep going like this. You let me keep yapping away. You guys are something else. You know that? Moroccan's not Middle Eastern. It's Northern West Africa. I get it, but the food's the same. In my opinion, the food seems very similar. Maybe I'm being racist. I honestly don't know. Maybe I'm being racist. Royce used to do a landscape stream. What, right? Just go mow people's lawns? I don't know. I have gone. It's funny you mentioned that, Kevin. Why do you do this? Most people don't give a shit about this stuff. I mean, I don't think so. Teppan Edo at the Japan Pavilion. That's the really, really nice restaurant at at Japan. It's newer. It's really good. It's expensive. The food is fucking great. And then the chef comes out to thank you, and it's a white guy like from Ohio. Don't get me wrong. The guy's really good at what he does. Yeah, Captain Hedgeman, we just covered that at the beginning about The Rock and the XFL stuff. Related, people who run Mediterranean restaurants are just too afraid to call it Middle Eastern. I could see that. Optics, right? The optics of it. Anyway, I canceled my annual Disney passes anyway because, number one, they're not really annual if you got to call ahead to get in there. Number two, I'm not going to walk around with a mask in 500-degree weather. It ain't fucking happen. It ain't fucking happening. It sounds miserable. I don't want to do it. All right. Some people, this gentleman is very divisive. Some people love this guy. Some people hate this guy. I, for one, love him. I will never stop playing my good friend, Thomas Murphy.
Hi, it's me, Thomas, and today is Wesley Snipes' birthday. He is 58 years old, and if you're hearing this, Wesley Snipes, please wear the mask. For this year only, please wear the mask. The face covering.
He cares about it.
It has to cover the... sorry. It has to cover the nose.
He cares.
And mouth. It has to. For this year only, yes, please wear the mask. And he does not like Donald Trump at all, the president. That's what he said. No, I don't like him, and I don't trust him. Donald Trump. Yeah, that's one actor he does not like him at all. Donald Trump. President. Does not like him. No. And also he went
Yeah, there are people that don't like Thomas. They really don't like when I play Thomas.
to the barbecue 4 years ago with Brandon and Sierra before they got married. Samantha and Nathan was there too. I showed my injury about what happened in 2015. Yes, I did. The injury at my job site. It was very bad. Matt Shepard was there too. He was. And Mom, never mind. But I'm going to text my mom about this. Yeah, this is something personal.
Mom,
I'm not going to say it out loud.
Look, he's learning. Good for him. This is something personal. I will be texting my mom.
Okay. I know. It's been hot today. And also I tried to reserve Halo 6 at GameStop. They did not show a release date yet, but they will. But
you don't have to reserve it, Thomas. Don't worry about it, bud. The days of reserving games are kind of long gone. You definitely don't have to reserve it. You'll be fine. I promise you, Thomas, you don't need to reserve it. I promise you, you'll be fine.
It was at the one on Westgate. GameStop at Westgate. The mall. You know where that is, yes. And once they do have the release date, I will reserve Halo 6 for Xbox One. Because I've been dying to play it, yes. I'm looking forward to it, yes.
Yes.
And also, if you're hearing this, Wesley Snipes, in 2021, no more face masks. I will get my hopes up on that. I will get my hopes up. You've heard that before. Get your hopes up. You're expecting, like thinking something's going to happen. I think it's going to, yeah, that's how it is.
I will get my hopes up. What a positive boy.
Get your hopes up. And also, what else am I going to say? Oh, yeah. I also watched a show called Bar Rescue with John Taffer. He does yell a lot. Yes.
He does.
John Taffer, he does yell.
It's definitely
kind of like Gordon Ramsay. Bar Rescue, like trying to reform the bars that are failing. I think you've seen that show before if you're hearing that. So comment down below if that's true. So I better get going, so I gotta go. So bye. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Thomas. Oh, what? Another Thomas video?
Hi, it's me, Thomas, and also July 25th, which was July 29th, which is my birthday, yes. I had Applebee's for dinner, and they had the outdoor seating. The other restaurant that had the outdoor seating was Chevy's. But I did not hear Witch Doctor on the radio station. I think you'll hear it around Halloween, not Thomas's birthday. Witch Doctor is a Halloween song.
Okay. I got it. You got it, bud. Did I play this one? Did I play this one? Maybe. Let me see here. Yeah, I think maybe I might have. August 1st. You know what? I think I may have played this one. Wait, no. I couldn't have. There's no way I played this one.
Not in July, no. Mm-hmm. And also, it is August. And I'm going to be back to work on Monday at 9 a.m. Yes, I am. And I'm glad I had a good time at Applebee's. I had the fish and chips, yes. It was better than a Chinese food in Florida.
Yeah.
They put vegetables in Chinese food.
Yeah,
I didn't like
a
it.
lot of Chinese food has vegetables
but now
in it,
Applebee's
Thomas.
was a lot better. It was. And, oh yeah. It was hot out there today.
It was a hot one.
And also, like, late August, I will get my flu shot.
Good.
Yes, I will.
Good. just don't get the vaccine for the coronavirus.
And is there anything else I want to say? Well, I guess that's about it. So I guess we're going. So I gotta go cook some dinner. So I'm gonna go. So bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye, Mr. Thomas. Thank you. So just a quick Thomas Murphy update for everybody. Looks like he's doing okay. Good friend Thomas Murphy's doing all right. I don't know Thomas. This Thomas live alone. I don't know Thomas's living situation per se. I think he just lives in an apartment complex or something where they have like a shared big kitchen or something. Kind of like a dorm situation is what I'm picking up. I don't know specifically. I don't know specifically his living situation, but that's what I'm thinking with old Thomas Murphy. Man, he's trying as hard as he can, and I honestly respect that. I really do. Get him monetized. I've tried. I've sent him text messages. I really have tried. I really have tried. It looks like he cut back on the booze a little bit too. Probably a rooming house or something. Yeah, something like that. Thomas drinks a lot, so he's not at home. No, but he can't. We've seen videos of Thomas sloshed. We have. But he has been better in recent history. He has been better in recent history. All right. Let's see here. So a treat for you guys. This just came out this morning. The new superstar, Ryan Long. Superstar Ryan Long has a new video. And I figure, even though Mersh is going to beef with him, beefing with him, he's my buddy, future co-host of Revenge of the Sis, Ryan Long.
When people first started talking about diversity, I was a little apprehensive, but when I realized it just meant hiring a bunch of different colors of people who agree with me, I was all in.
Every job should be 50% women.
Well, I don't know if every job.
Do you have a problem with diversity, Osama?
No, I'm just saying that.
Anyone else here have a problem with diversity?
There's no biological difference between men and women.
Very diverse, guys. Great work. I pledge to fill every position other than mine with the most diverse staff of people who agree with me in the history of Silicon Valley.
Big tech needs to censor speech more.
All right, let's tweet another picture of the staff. Actually, let me get in the middle of this puppy. Count of three, say I'm with her. We have black guys that hate Trump, brown guys that hate Trump, Asians that hate Trump, women that hate Trump, LGBT who hate Trump. Our main export at Diversity Corp is the right opinions, but said by a black guy.
Russiagate.
Yeah, just do the other one too, if you don't mind.
Scientists should never be questioned.
You didn't even ask my resume. He asked for my 23andMe and my thoughts on Trump.
My interview was just him asking me if I had ever had sex with a woman.
Hey, what does the plus stand for in LGBT? You think we get like a plus that hates Trump?
I was like, yeah, I made out with a chick once in college. And then he said, okay, that's good enough.
Okay, Twitter just hired 4 new chick coders, and I'm thinking we need to up the heat with a new slogan. Any ideas?
What about we don't make anything, but we are multicultural doing it?
Code that wasn't written by the white devil.
Lesbo, you have any ideas?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't really classify myself as gay.
We take pride in our work. Hey, can we get a Colombian coder? You know, I make it look easy, but it takes a lot of effort to put together a broad group of people with the exact same stance on every social and political issue.
Beauty is a social construct.
Not sure what we do here, to be honest. Mainly brag about diversity on social media.
You know what I like about you two is how different you are.
We're actually pretty similar, man.
Every morning he gives us a list of what he calls the right opinions.
Repealing net neutrality will end the world.
I'm pretty sure they did repeal that.
Diversity is our strength.
He just. Oh, there's a little more. Is there more? Or is it just. Hold on. It might just be.
Larry, have a seat, please. What's this I hear about you liking an Andrew Dice Clay tweet?
Yes, my favorite comedian.
You're fired.
To be fair, you should be fired for that. Hold on a second. I'm actually sending him, Mr. Long, a message now. I'm actually yeah, apparently Mr. Long isn't home. I was gonna have him Skyping. I was gonna bust his balls a bit. Maybe tomorrow. Yeah, I did. I used to know Mr. Ryan Long. The video, if you want to see it, just search for Ryan Long on YouTube. It's super easy to find. What time would... sorry, I know this is unprofessional, but giving him a quick message. Yeah, he's blown up. That video with him and Danny has a million views. A million views. That's, you know what? That's a really good point. This is going to be, this is the Ryan Long song. This is every time Ryan, because now he's somebody that we used to know.
Now and then I think of when we were together.
This is the Ryan Long song.
Like when you said you felt so happy you could die. Told myself that you were right for me, but felt so lonely in your company. But that was love and it's an ache I still remember. You can get addicted to a certain kind of sadness.
Here, I'll even make a quick little music video.
Like resignation to the end, always the end. So when we found that we could not make sense, well, you said that we would still be friends. But I'll admit that I was glad that it was over. But you didn't have to cut me off, make out like you never remember we were nothing. And I don't even need your love. You treat me like a stranger that feels so rough. No, you didn't have to stop so long. Have your friends collect your records and then change your
happy for him, but like I'm sad for me.
Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Somebody I used to know. Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
But I'm sad for me.
I used to know. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. I used to know. That I used to know.
Moved on, Wade.
I
Yeah.
used to know.
It's just. It's just like. You're happy that he made it. You're happy that he made it. But, like. I'm really happy for him. Seriously. I really am. I really am. Thank you for giving me the idea for the Godier song, because that actually worked out perfectly. Dude, the face is actually almost good. Don't cry over a Canadian. That's the best advice that anybody could give you. Never cry over a Canadian. Just don't do it. Don't cry over a Canadian, because they'll never love you back. They won't. They won't. It's pronounced goiter. Goiter. I don't think it's pronounced goiter. I mean, like, I'm not 100% positive. Roy shaved his beard so Ryan could see his tears. It's true. It's true. It's true. Okay, I'm kidding. Good for Ryan, man. Seriously, good for him. Big time in Ryan Long. That's fine. You know, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And what can you do? You know? I guess just be sad. I have a couple old radio things. I have a Neil Rogers things that I want to play with me past couple weeks. We've been playing old school radio stuff. Neil Rogers, for example, and also I got Wally George on the Howard Stern show. I didn't know this existed. I had no idea this existed. But apparently at some point, Wally George did call into the Howard Stern show. With him, it's hard to tell because everything's a bit with Wally George. I've listened to Bob and Tom has been around for 500 million years. Phil Henry turned me on, and Neil, yeah. And, you know, I'll say this. I'm going to play this Neil thing. Neil never necessarily liked Howard, but, and somebody sent this to me. To his credit, to Howard Stern's credit, when Neil died, he did say something about it, and he didn't have to. But he did it in basically the Howard Stern way of saying it. So I'm going to play this Neil Rogers clip that I found that I thought was really good. I think you guys will like it. It's from 1999. And then what we'll do is we'll play the Howard Stern after Neil died, because I never thought that Howard ever mentioned him, and there's some stuff in it that I didn't even know. So let's check it out.
Anyway, so the dermatologist to give me some of this cream to smear on my neck for this rash. It's only been a couple of months. I mean, I'm a little impatient. And it is going away. It's going away. There's like maybe I would say 90% back in the ballpark now. But there's a little bit of it left. So they said, my dermatologist, I saw him at the game Monday night, the hockey game. He said, keep smearing that stuff on there. It'll go away. So I've been smearing it on there, but they had only a few little samples they gave me. So they'd given me a prescription for a big bottle of this, whatever the hell it's called, some kind of cream you smear on there. Smear cream. So I take the prescription yesterday on the way home from Mommy's house. I take the prescription to my Walgreens where I buy all my prescriptions, and I spend thousands of dollars on prescriptions there every year, by the way. I was one of their first best customers. See, it's interesting, in the beginning when these stores first opened, because there's one in every street corner in Eckerd's, a Walgreens, every street corner there's another one. And when they first opened, they ought to kiss the ground that any of us actually live close enough to go in there and patronize them to keep them going until they all get too busy. Because one thing in this town, you can never have too many drugstores. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. I remember Eckerd drugs, which CVS bought out.
Exactly. Everybody's got prescription drugs. All of us were all sick, especially the old farts. So anyway, this place is a zoo now. But at 4 o'clock, I go in there. I says to the pharmacist, I give him the prescription. I said, I'll come back around 6. Now, if there was a problem with my coming back around 6, he should have said, well, we're really backed up, make it around 6:30. He looked at me, no problem, okay. It's in the computer, your name, you get all your stuff here, fine. I go back to the store 5 minutes till 6. I know, I'm always a little bit prematurely early, like all these guys in the survey. I'm a little bit
love his soundboard.
Early. 5 to 6. There's a couple of people standing online, 3 or 4. And, of course, they also have the drive-through prescription through outside.
This was $19.99 non-con.
This is one of the worst things, one of the worst ideas. You people that go through the drive-through to get your prescriptions filled, and I've done it at, a couple of stores, shame on you. Because you don't really think that the stores, like when you go through, like George mentioned, Burger King or McDonald's or Wendy's, the same people that are feeding the people inside and taking care of your orders are not the same ones that are doing the orders at the drive-through window. They have separate people taking care of that. Do they do that at the drugstores? No. However many, 2 or 3 people that they got working on 6,000 prescriptions inside and waiting on the customers inside, those are the same ones that have to take care of the people driving up outside. What are you shaking your head about? That's the way it works, Mr. Dumbo.
That's insane.
Well, that's insane, and that's why now, if you got to go pick up a prescription, tell them you're going to pick it up at 7 and then show up like at 10 o'clock at night. And oh, sorry, we're closed. Seriously. And then maybe if you're lucky, they'll slide it under the door. So anyway, I am waited on finally. I'm not the most patient person in the world to say the very best. And I'm waited on by I don't want to, how do I say this delicately, okay? A young minority lady. Let's leave it at that. Now, I understand that all you people in retail, you're all under a lot of pressure, EEO, PEO, whatever the hell it is, CEO, but EIEIO. If you're going to hire people that aren't really all that swift, why not have them putting all the stationery supplies out there, Why not have them straightening out the candy aisle? Why would you have, because as I left there finally after this experience, I'm thinking to myself, if these are the kind of people that are working in the prescription department, how many people are really getting the right, you know what I'm saying? We're always hearing about people getting the wrong prescription, and in the hospital they get it, at the drugstore. So anyway, I tell her my name, my real name, of course, which I...
That's a good point, Ladder, is let's leave it at that is way worse than just saying it.
Do all my business under. And she starts looking through the bags, and the under the B's. She starts looking in there. And then she looks at me again and says, spell that for me again. Okay. And I spell it for her again, and she's potching around and looking. And now, of course, now she's also running over to the window of the drive-through people because she's got some bitch out there that she's not finished taking care of out there. And now she's all, and of course, by the time she comes back, what was that again? How do you spell that? And well, this is the third time, okay? Now she goes over and looks, fumbles through all of the stuff that's sitting on the counter that they haven't put in the bins yet. You've seen that. And she's looking and looking, and now the line is starting to get longer. There's a plantation pork.
It's just the dismissiveness of it. It's so dismissive.
In there's about a half a dozen people. Now there's 7 people. The line is getting longer and longer, and they got about 2 or 3 people filling prescriptions behind there that are obviously just 8 million miles behind. They just can't catch up. She comes back. She looks in the bin again. She turns around and says to me, after she goes back to the drive-thru window again to say, "Oh, we're looking at it, hang on." And she comes back to me, "Now, what was that name again? What was the first name?" Oh, no. This is the fourth time. I'm not making this up, okay? I have no reason to exaggerate. She diddles around, and now she's looking through, on the little bins that have the prescription bags in them. It'll say like BA, BE, to give an idea, so you don't have to look through all.
Plantation is a city in Fort Lauderdale, which is now thinking about changing their name.
All of them. Now she's looking through like BT. Well, I guess what? There's no T in mine. She comes back again after diddling through all these bags, which it's obviously not in there yet. And she's got a little slip of paper and a pencil. And she says, "What was that last name? How do you spell it again?"
Oh, God.
This is the fifth
I'm
time.
aggravated for him.
And I said to her, "Are we on candid camera? Where's the camera? I'm looking around. Or is this a joke?" And I start spelling it for her, and she writes down like ZQX. I mean, not exactly that, but letters that haven't been invented in my name yet. Now the prescription guy comes over, the guy that I had dropped it off with, the pharmacist, and he says, "Oh, yeah, it's over there. It'll be a few minutes." I said, "Well," he says, "you said 6 o'clock. I look at my watch. It's now a minute till 6. He said, "Oh, yeah, it'll be a few minutes." So I'm sitting there. Now the next woman, a middle-aged woman, comes up there. She's been standing behind me while all this is going on with the same girl waiting on her. And believe it or not, exactly, she must have spelled her name 792,000 times. Given the first name 2,184,000 times. And to be honest with you, I'm not really sure she ever even got the stuff. And then finally, after going back and forth, and this girl says to her, "Well, do you know what the prescription was for? What the drug was?" And she says,
"No."
I love that soundboard.
I'm going to tell you something. You folks in retail, if you want to keep hiring dumb people, you're going to lose business. That's all I can tell you. I'm talking dumb. I'm not saying that it was necessarily her fault it wasn't ready yet, but how many times can you ask a person the same goddamn question before they finally just start screaming? I actually said that to her. Are we on
I think like 5 times. After 5 times is when I lose my patience.
Candid camera? Is this a joke? And she just looked at me with a straight face. She didn't know candid camera from her rectum. She didn't even know what I was talking about.
Well,
so
Neil, to be fair, Neil, you're an old Jew. So, I mean, even in 1999, candid camera was 40 years old. So nobody's going to remember it.
Funny. It wasn't amusing. It wasn't sarcastic. It was like she was nonplussed by it. Honey, I'm going to tell you something. Straighten out those candy aisles, sweetheart. Get those envelopes and paper pads all straightened out there in the stationery, but stay out of the prescription department. People's lives depend on that crap.
So, Neil, of course, we've played the Stern stuff before. He ripped on, and I believe ripped on Stern rightfully so, for a lot of the shit that Stern did. The FCC response and stuff like that. There was a lot of reasons. I didn't know this. I had no idea about this, but apparently after Neil died, Stern did something.
Oh, so I was telling you about the channels, and 5 years ago, I was looking to associate with other disc jockeys around the country. I was lucky enough to associate with Bubba the Love Sponge. One of the other guys that I wanted to bring here was a guy named Neil Rogers. Neil Rogers. They brought me a tape of him. He was a disc jockey, not a disc jockey, a personality in Miami. I believe he was gay, but he was a political commentary kind of guy. You know, he was nuts. He would scream out crap and say stuff, and they began to play tapes for me 5 years ago. And I enjoyed them. I said, let me see if we can't bring this guy to the channels. Well, of course, we had no money to bring him to the channels. The guy was making decent... Come on, please. Excuse me. This guy was making pretty good money in Miami. He was very popular down there. So I said to him, could we take your Miami show and play it here on Howard 100? I think my audience would dig you. And he was open to it. And I thought it would have been very exciting. So I went to the management. I said, hey, we can get this guy. And he came up with a price. Seemed pretty reasonable, but evidently it wasn't reasonable, according to management here. So as a result, I never got to bring him to you on our airwaves. I think he would have been a good fit. But as it turns out, he just died, this guy. So I was sad to read it because...
Did you ever meet him?
Never met him. Don't even believe I spoke with him. I just had somebody approach him about this stuff. And he was open to it. But it was one of those things that never happened. But he died 8 days ago.
Wow. What did he die of?
I don't know. Yeah, he was in poor health. He was only in his 60s. Am I right? Does anybody know about Neil Rogers?
68.
68-year-old guy.
Oh, that's pretty young.
Apparently had a heart attack and a stroke in October.
Yeah, he was not in good health, and but he was very popular in Miami. And I thought it would have been kind of neat to bring him to the rest of the country, you know, since we had a national forum. I mean, at that time, who knows how many people we had, but now it's really growing into something.
He was living in Toronto.
I didn't know that.
And suffered 2 heart attacks and a stroke.
Yeah, he had a place in Toronto and a place in South Florida, and they did like that remote. He would remote a show from there sometimes.
All right. So anyway, sorry to hear about him, and I'm sorry I never got to bring him to you guys. I think you would have enjoyed him. All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back right after these words.
Now, you know, in typical Stern fashion, he still kind of made it about himself with the Neil thing. And, I mean, it did sound genuine. And management, you don't think that Stern had the pull to say, if I want this guy, have him on, just pay him, I don't give a fuck? I think he did. I mean, how could he not? He was making $500 million a year. He could have. And look, man, I mean, I don't hate Stern. I can't hate Stern. The guy's a fucking, you know, he's a legend in radio. And, you know, there's a lot of people now, whatever. You could talk about him now the way he is now. And I understand his criticisms are all fair. But even with the FCC thing, Stern just always had a way about making it about him. You think he's lying? I don't know. Nah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Is he going to play?
Whoa! Look at that.
Thank you for the stream, sir.
Thank you. Much appreciated, Blondie Sponcho. So, you guys want to get really weird with the Neil stuff? Because I have one more. Do you want to hear him right after the Columbine shooting? Because this is kind of a two-pronged thing here with him.
Okay, boys and girls, 10:03 at 560 WQAM. What a day, huh? What a day. What a place. What a barbaric place. Unbelievable. And all these idiotic people running around with their simplistic answers as usual. Oh, if you just put your hands together in prayer, or if we just put all the kids in uniforms, make them all dressed the same, and goose-step around like good little Nazis, that'll do it. So I go to my mother's for lunch yesterday, and the minute that I get there, she's got the TV on CNN. And they're covering this grotesque, horrendous, unbelievable episode. But, you know, it is the American effing way. It's part of American culture. It's as American as apple pie and you name it. And so when I got home, I flipped on the satellite, and on the big dish, they had on the NBC satellite, they had KUSA from Denver on the entire...
See, back then, before DirecTV, there was these big satellites. And you could actually get direct satellite feeds. You could even, during the commercials, hear them talking and stuff, like during the late night shows that were live. It was this whole thing.
Afternoon, evening, all day. And I just sat there riveted watching this all afternoon, all night, all these things. In fact, when I was sitting there, when I was at my mother's, I'm watching this on CNN, and I'm thinking to myself, is anybody on our radio station talking about this?
No.
Now, you're laughing, see? George is in there just laughing hysterically, peeing in his pants. Is anybody on the all sports? So they're still talking about the effing draft. They're talking about, is anybody aware of this grotesque thing where, like, maybe who knows how many people, now it's 15 to 17, they're having a tough time counting bodies, I guess. Last night it was 25. But it makes no difference what the number is. A grotesque, unbelievable episode in American history again. Is anybody interested in this on this radio station?
No.
I mean, I've got news for you, baby. You people are all, I'm talking about the American people. Your values, your attitude, your ideas, they're upside down. They're crazy as a bedbug. And all you God lunatics out there, oh, yeah, well, you don't believe in heaven. Let me ask you this. You think those kids who got shot yesterday, who never even had a chance to really live life. You think that those kids are in heaven now? Is that what you think? Or in purgatory, or in limbo, or God only knows where else? I mean, the things that I'm hearing today it's just unbelievable. It just boggles the mind. Oh, if we just put all the kids, we got to go to uniforms now. You know, the trench coat mafia with their black trench coats. See, one of them actually threatened to kill another kid last year, and when his family called the police, they didn't do a damn thing about it. Nothing. I mean, these kids were like branding themselves, like putting tattoos on themselves, saying, hey, we're a bunch of aberrant, bizarre, we're an accident waiting to happen. If you don't believe us, just check out our website on the Internet. Just check out the fact that we already put on there that yesterday was Hitler's birthday, so we warned everybody yesterday was the day we were going to do something aberrant. But hey, oh yeah, if we would have put them in some kind of an outfit so they could have been anonymous, it's like saying if you put a business suit on Hitler, he would have been okay.
Well, would have been dashing looking at least.
It was the brown shirts. That was the problem, right? That's what made him go off the deep end with a swastika and the whole business. If he would have just walked around in a business suit, or like a military uniform like the emperor used to wear, that would have made him better. But not that awful thing that he came up with. So let's make all the kids little goose-stepping Nazis and have them step into place. And then I'm hearing people saying, well, if we just had stiffer penalties for, crimes committed with guns. Let me ask you this. When somebody commits a suicidal act, which is what this was, obviously right from the start, do they care about the penalties, how long they're going to be in jail? They're going to kill themselves. They're going to go in there and kill a bunch of people, and then they're going to kill themselves. That was the plan from the beginning. So what difference does it make what penalties they get? How about the parents of people who commit crimes with their guns? And now we're going to get the same old tired crap again. All the NRA assholes are out there. Oh, yeah, well, guns don't kill people. See, the problem is most of you people, I've been trying to tell you this for years, you don't understand what living a civilized life is all about. This isn't the way people are supposed to live. And the problem is the American public, they accept it. They don't give a crap. Oh, well, who did the Dolphins draft in the 5th round, That's the kind of stuff that you think is important.
This is right. This is the day after Columbine.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, I'm crossing those days off that calendar, those 3.5 years, whatever it is, like a man on death row.
That's how much was left on his contract.
Waiting for the last time I get on that plane. Because this is a barbaric place. It is a truly unbelievable barbaric place. Yes, there are other barbaric places in the world, but you know what? Those are places that we know are barbaric, that don't masquerade as being civilized. You can't complain about civilization in America because basically there isn't any. I say more sex, less violence. That's what I say. All these maniacs, all these goody two-shoes, all these religionists who are, the president got a few blowjobs, that's what they're worried about. But the fact that kids can't go to school without them being terrified and their parents like peeing in their pants every day, are they going to come home alive? Well, who'd they pick in the 5th round?
He has some good points. Obviously, don't agree with everything he's saying, but you can see where he's coming from. But to be fair, I don't agree with everything that he's saying. I mean, I get it. I get it where he's coming from with the sports station stuff. I get where he's coming from with that. But I don't necessarily agree with everything. Fits the profile, huh? Let's see here. Nah, not necessarily. Nah, I wouldn't say he was an anti-gun. Not necessarily an anti-gun guy. Because I've heard him talk about stuff. And not necessarily an anti-gun guy. But hey, you play everything, right? Still better than Stern. Sports don't talk tragedy until they force them to. Sorry. Oh, there we go. All right. Let's see here. So, Wally George. We all know our favorite Wally George. I had no idea that this anime crossover happened. I had no fucking clue that this anime crossover happened. But it did. It did. Apparently, Wally George at some point called into the Howard Stern show. We're doing some old radio stuff today, by the way. If it's not for you, I get it. Wally George called into the Howard Stern show.
Yeah, baby. Big show for you today. Wally George is going to be on the phone. Remember him? Wally George?
Where did he surface from?
I don't know, but from the dead. He must be so desperate to promote something that he's coming on the show because he hates me. And
Yeah, we should play those old tapes
There's no way you don't know who Wally George is. We played plenty of him.
before he comes on of how he used to scream about it.
Yeah, Gary, you ought to pull those old tapes so we can warm people up for that. Here's a sample of me and Wally George in the past. Let me see. Yeah, and let me tell you something. Before you ever dare call anybody immoral, you take a good hard look at yourself in the mirror and wonder why your own kids may throw up when they hear your name.
You are quoting from the National Enquirer.
I don't care. Well, you tell me different.
Wait a minute.
Produce your daughter then. Produce your daughter on your TV show.
I have a very good relationship with every member of my family, including my daughter.
Yeah, well, why did you get her on your show then?
She doesn't come on hot seat.
Why not?
I have people on my show that I argue with.
Yeah.
Jerks like you.
Yeah, well, you tell me something. Let me see the last birthday card she sent you.
I can send you a reason.
Because you have no family structure, and I bet you I'm going to get... You know what I'm going to do to you, Wally? I'm going to get a hold of your first wife. I'm going to learn all about you. I'm going to make you... You know what? If I ever hear you mention my name again, now you listen carefully. If I ever hear you mention my name in a negative way...
Don't you try to order...
Now, I'm going to order you around. You're my boy. You're my dog. Now, you listen to me.
Well, hold on. Again, with the Wally George stuff. With the Wally George stuff, it's got to be a work. We've played the Wally George. If you haven't, you can look back at old episodes of mine. We've played the Wally George stuff on this. It's a work. It's all the fucking work. I mean, it is. It's all planned, and I think Howard probably loved it and was playing into it. It has to be. It's a bit. It's a fucking bit. It has to be a bit. Only because of everything that we know about Wally George and the kind of show that he did and the kind of same people that he had on that played different characters. It's a bit, and he knew what he was doing. It absolutely is a work.
You are a disgrace to broad...
Was he a pretend Nazi for Howard? No. God damn it. So how about this? I'll play a little clip of Wally George so you kind of understand more of the premise, because I get that some people don't everyone can't watch every show, and obviously I understand that. Let's see. Oh, Wally George. So this is Wally George.
Wally, I told myself, Phil, there's no cure. I have accused you of having a very dirty, filthy act. You use four-letter words. You say...
Hey, Wally is a four-letter word, ain't it?
No, it's not.
I say...
Hey, I'm illiterate, okay?
Hey, Shoefly.
Hey, that was supposed to be funny, okay?
I say this...
Can you imagine if you had four letters? Kiss my Wally.
I don't listen to you. I've heard enough of you already. I'm telling you. I'm telling these young people.
This is my show, and if you don't knock it off, I'm throwing you off personally.
Is that
now, do you
so?
hear that, Marine buddy?
All
right.
Listen.
So again, all of this was a work. All of these people were in on it. It's wrestling without wrestling. That was Wally George.
I am having your ex-wife on dial-a-date. Yeah. Heel boy, you're my dog.
You dare try to order me around. I'll tell you something, Howard.
You're my dog.
You are a filthy...
But you're my dog. You are my dog.
You are going to be removed from the airwaves because I am going to see to it that my
let me tell you something. And let me tell you something.
As soon as you get some clout.
Listen here, Rover.
viewers are now petitioning the FCC to get you off radio
be
and
still,
television.
you wig-wearing hump. What?
This is a bit. This was just a bit. I guarantee you Stern loved this guy's bit. This guy's shtick.
You look like under that wig. How bald are you?
Hey, this is my hair, you stupid moron.
Yeah, well, let me pull it off. Let me pull that toupee off.
By the way, saying somebody has a wig coming from Howard Stern is a little funny.
Hey, what kind of a wig?
Hey, don't you dare make fun of my hair. At least I got happening heavy metal hair. You've got hair from hell. Why is it covering your ears? Do you have ears?
You look like...
If you're so conservative, why is your hair covering your ears?
You look like some...
What are you hiding? What are you hiding?
Wandered in off the street.
I hope they pull your wig off right on TV.
It's my hair, pal.
Yeah, it's probably chemotherapy. He looks like he's in some shape.
You are such a pitiful moron.
Hey, let me tell you something, dope. You're my dog, and this is what I'm going to do to you. If I ever hear you mention my name negatively again, I only want to hear praise. I am your master, and I only want to hear... You listen carefully. You listen carefully to me.
You can't threaten...
If you want... You're arguing with the best now. You're not arguing with one of those idiots on your show. Now listen to me carefully.
Of course, every idiot on his show was a plant. God, this is such a work. This is such a work and such a bit. It's wonderful to listen to.
Dog boy. I am telling you right now that you are morally bankrupt, personally. I don't care about you professionally because you're nothing to me. You're a pimple on my ass. You're a flea in the show business. Let me tell you something, my friend, and listen to me carefully. If I hear you mention me negatively again, what is going to happen? I'm going to investigate. I'm going to get a hold of your first and your second wife. And I'm going to get a hold of your daughter and her friends. And I'm going to start to hear stories about you. And I'm going to find out about how morally bankrupt you are. I'm going to find out if there's pictures of young boys in your background. I'm going to find out everything about you.
You see what you do.
You hear that?
You are
Say woof. Say woof.
Such an idiot.
Say woof, doggy.
Don't try to threaten me. I have nothing
You're a dog.
in my life. There is nothing in my life
Say
that
woof.
I am ashamed of. I am proud of
I'm going to investigate you like the McCarthy hearings.
I have a very good
Sick of you.
relationship with...
Yeah. That was the last time we hooked up. He called Gary, said, that wasn't fair. I didn't
like that.
What a work.
He shouldn't talk about my daughter.
What a work.
Hey, man, you want to argue with me? I'm going to bring up everything. So now I think he's, I don't know what he is.
The wife left him, huh?
That's what I heard. I got to ask him when he calls in at 9. Well, I guess I was right about Wally George. Wally, you've got to admit I was right about you all along.
What do you mean you were right about me?
You are the world's biggest loser.
You are the world's biggest psycho, you perverted animal.
Well,
and I'm still, every night on my show...
No one even sees it.
Every night on my show, I am leading the crusade...
When does it air?
...to get your filthy program off the air.
First of all...
I'm sick and tired of the way you come on the air and you say these vile, sickening, disgusting things. You have filthied up the airwaves for too long,
great. It's
Stern.
just so
And
good.
starting December the 10th, I'm going on the internet with my own page.
Oh, how pathetic. Why do you have to come on the show to announce your webpage? Isn't it because nobody ever watches your show and no one knows when you're on?
Everyone, listen, I've been on the air 15 years, Howard.
On nothing stations. You've never done a network. You've never been on anything successful.
We've been on 168 stations nationwide.
Really?
I am now having a book that it will be coming out very shortly.
First of all, let's admit, number one, that it is absolutely hypocritical for a gentleman like you to come on the air and talk about me when you have fouled up your personal life and hurt so many people.
I have not fouled up my
How many
personal
marriages?
life.
How many marriages, Wally?
Listen, my little... Listen,
How many
you
marriages?
stupid jerk. I have a little 8-year-old daughter named Holly.
How much?
And how old are you?
And how old are you?
Who is the joy of my life.
How old are you?
None of your damn business.
And isn't it true your daughter who is grown up, Rebecca De Mornay, will not even talk to you?
Absolutely untrue.
And that you never will see her child, and that you keep saying horrible things about her?
It's a work, guys. Please you have to remember, this is a work. It's important for you to remember this is a work. I know when it's a good work, you get sucked into it, obviously. But this is all a bit.
Insane, you pervert. I just talked to my daughter, and I happen to be the proud grandfather of her little baby daughter.
Have you met your granddaughter?
she was just born.
Have you seen her?
Not yet, but I'm
Why?
within a few days.
Why haven't you seen her?
Because she is recovering.
You sure this is a work? Yes, I am sure this is a work. I guarantee you.
Listen to me. The reason you have not, your daughter hates you.
My family life.
How many marriages?
Don't tell me about my family life.
Mr. Family Values. Do you believe in family values?
Of course I do.
Okay. How many families have you had? Answer the question.
Have I had?
Answer the question. How many families have you had? How many marriages?
I've been married 4 times.
Okay. And each one of those times your wife leaves you for what? What reason?
Because of my career, Howard.
I see. And what about your last wife, who
That's the problem I've had.
The last time I told you on the air your wife would leave you. The last time
you much time with my career.
What career? You have no career.
I was going to say, what, they left you because you couldn't get a career off the ground?
Yeah.
Robin, who in the hell are you? But just all you
She makes more money than you.
Robin, all
She
you
does,
are
it's true.
is an ass kisser.
Are we having trouble talking around our dentures?
It's again, you have to understand, nothing Wally George ever did was real. It was all a work. This is how he got listeners. This is how people tune into his show. That was the whole point. Hold on. I forgot. Is Wally George still alive? I think he may have died recently. He's dead, right? Yeah. Yeah, he did. Because I was wondering if Howard said anything after Wally George died. But I don't see anything. Yeah, I don't see anything. What's this? Hold on, I'm just seeing.
From a broad.
Whatever. Oh, whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, he had Morton Downey Jr. on the show too, Wally George. I mean, the guy was just next level. Next level. If you get a chance, check it out. All right, let's see here. Guys, before the race wars, there was a spreadsheet wars. I love this music.
Joining us in the studio now is Phil Welch, spreadsheet product manager with Microsoft. Next to Phil, John Lewis, president of Lewis Research Corporation, and Jared Taylor, West Coast editor of PC Magazine. Gary?
Jared, if we look at the history of spreadsheets, I guess it really started with VisiCalc in the old days.
Of course,
and,
everybody knows
Lotus
that.
came along with the
Everybody knows
integration of spreadsheets and graphics and databases, and it really took that market away. Now, is this same sort of thing going to happen again? We've got Excel out there, we've got Quattro coming along, and other products.
Yeah, we all know who won. Let me fire up my Quattro spreadsheet to tell you who won, because I've actually got it all up here for you. Let me open up my Word Perfect. Let me open up my Lotus Notes to see who won.
Is history going to repeat itself?
I would be the last to predict that that's what's going to happen. 1, 2, 3 is very, very, very well dug in. I think at this point there are few people who would try to argue that it is a better spreadsheet than Excel, for example, or that it's a better spreadsheet than Surpass. But the fact of the matter is,
Lotus 1, 2, 3, I believe.
It's there, it's out in force, people are loyal to it, it's just got a bunker built around it.
But why is the market kind of breaking up to some extent then?
The reason that there are serious competitors out there now is that 123 has sat still for too long. In the face of the possibilities for technological improvement, it didn't come out with a version that lets you link spreadsheet, better on-screen formatting, better graphics, printing graphs from the screen, macro.
Yes, that's the Jared Taylor. Jared Taylor is an American white supremacist and editor of the American Renaissance and the online magazine. So that would be this gentleman. But, that again, before the race wars. Before the race wars. There was a spreadsheet wars. So this is about spreadsheet, guys. This isn't about anything else but spreadsheets, okay?
That's what's going to happen. 123 is very, very well dug in. I think at this point there are few people who would try to argue that it is a better spreadsheet than Excel, for example, or that it's a better spreadsheet than Surpass. But the fact of the matter is it's there, it's out in force, people are loyal to it, it's just got a bunker built around it.
But why is the market kind of breaking up to some extent then?
The reason that there are serious competitors out there now is that 123 has sat still for too long.
13% of the spreadsheets commit 50% of the sum errors.
In the face of the possibilities for technological improvement, it didn't come out with a version that lets you link spreadsheet, better on-screen formatting, better graphics, printing graphs from the screen, macro libraries. There are all kinds of things 123 could have done but didn't.
But that's promised in future releases?
Yes, release, when it shows up.
We must secure a future for Quattro spreadsheets.
Release 3 is liable to be an excellent program. Okay. But we'll see.
You have
let's just say that we want to take this one and we want to change it rather than a stacked bar chart. Let's say we want to make it into a pie chart. Just do that, we view it, and there it is, very simply.
Okay, Jared, what do you think of Quattro as a competitive product in the Excel 123 marketplace?
Well, I think Quattro's got some limitations in that it's not perfectly 123 compatible. And if your business requires that you use a 123 template,
Microsoft supremacist,
I'd be a little bit leery about using it.
Look, if Quattro, let me tell you something. If Quattro would have won the spreadsheet wars, who knows? Jared Taylor might be the fucking CEO right now of a major tech corporation. We don't know.
Great advantage is it's much cheaper than either Excel or 123. Also, it has a fantastic macro debugger. It's got a way to rebuild your spreadsheet if it breaks down. It's got some good advantages. As far as its comparison with Excel is concerned, you shouldn't overlook the fact that although they're both spreadsheets, they're very different products. Excel is expensive, it requires top quality hardware, but it's the way spreadsheets are going to go, and it's very powerful. Quattro, on the other hand, will run on smaller, less powerful machines. And it is something that hews to the current 123 tradition, and if you're used to 123, Quattro will be very good for you.
Gentlemen, Jen, thank you very much. Now, you can get some extra functionality out of your spreadsheet, not by buying another program necessarily, but by...
He went from talking about spreadsheets to, well, you know. It's fucking crazy, man. This is, wonder what made him shift. Top comment, we must secure the existence of backwards compatibility and a future for all proprietary data. Somebody said, Admiral Squatbarg, so we're talking about radio. Did you ever listen to Paul and Young Ron? Yeah, man. Paul and Young Ron was the thing, man. It was the local radio in South Florida. It was Big 106, Big 105.9, Big 106. And then they moved over to Zeta. And they were syndicated to like a couple local Florida stations. Paul is still around. Young Ron retired, right? Young Ron was the older one. But yeah, they were your local. Would you call them shock jocks? I don't want to call them shock jocks. I mean, they were comedy morning show. But they were on. Of course, you listened to them. You had to. That's what was on in the morning before satellite radio, before anything. You would listen to them. It was that or the Tom Joyner morning show, which was the black morning show, which, I mean, no offense to them, but that's not really my thing. I didn't, relate. Baker Boys were on for a while. They were more of like they're from California. They moved here. What was the other one? God, what was the other one? Trying to think. God damn it. What was his name? I can't remember. They weren't shock jocks, but they had comedians. Royce is blowing us off, guys. Blowing you off how? What do you want? What do you want, homie? Explain.
Whoa! Look at that.
Thank you.
Your message here.
What is this? Oh, you made this? Cool. Everybody had their own local radio show host. Everybody had their morning zoo. Some better than others. I was lucky to be in a market that had Neil Rogers. I was lucky to be in a market that had Neil Rogers, had Phil Henry, had people like that. There was another show, Miami Milf, remember this, Rick and Suds. Rick and Suds, I remember, was another show that was on in the talk station here. But, this is back in the day when you can get away with more. And, it was very decentralized. I mean, it's not like now and you go on YouTube and everybody in the world listens. Back then, Lex and Terry, JJ Stoner. I know of Lex and Terry. I know Lex and Terry. Bubba the Love Sponge was up here in Central Florida. Monsters in the Morning, Central Florida. Everybody had their own little niche market, and all the jokes were local radio jokes. All the jokes were local, Hey, did you go down to Mary's Bake Shop and you have muffins there? Like and look, in a way, I mean, you can look back and a lot of it probably was hacked. A lot of it was hack, but there was something unique about it. There was something different about it. Kevin and Bean here. Kevin and Bean. That's one I don't know. And I mean, I know a lot of them. Max Mayo gave $20. Thank you. Much appreciated, Max Mayo. I still quote the jokes to myself. Their soundboard was gold. You get with local radio. Yeah, Yuki's dreaming. Let's see if we could hear. Hold on. She's twitching too. She's streaming and she's twitching. I think she stopped making noises. Yeah. My dog started barking because of it. Yeah, she's doing the little kicky thing, with her paws. She's doing little kicky things with her paws. Poor Tukes. She's a sleepy Tukes. All right. Let's see here. Ooh, I wanted to play that. I wanted to play that. Okay, yeah, I wanted to get to this. So I'm going to move this up here real quick. Let's see here. But first, let's go ahead and cleanse the palate here real quick. We haven't done this in a while. It's been sans palate cleansers, which makes them more special when they happen.
How did they know that my wife took it all? That I'm not researching roles? How did they know? Ziggy, if you hear me, take me far, far from here. Let me leave to 89, that was a better year. I miss my old Camaro and my mansion in Van Nuys. Wish I still hung with Nash Bridges, played poker with the full guys. Oh, Ziggy, can you see my tears? Ziggy! Lead me far, far from here.
All right. Is that annoying? A Mexican Barry White. I'm not Mexican. She awake? Oh, yeah. That woke her up. She's awake now. Yuki's awake now because of that. Far from here. I'm going to play this real quick. I am. Hold on a second. I'm going to do something here real quick. Here it is. I do have an announcement. It looks like Ryan Long will be doing Daywave tomorrow. He has just confirmed for me. For those who don't know who Ryan, it'd probably be his last appearance here because he's gotten too big. But for those who don't know who Ryan Long is, and for the people that came in late, he's blown up, and he's just somebody that we used to know.
You could die. Told myself that you were right for me, but felt so lonely in your company. But that was love and it's an ache I still remember. Like resignation to the end, always the end. So when we found that we could not make sense, well, you said that we would still be friends. But I'll admit that I was glad that it was over. But you did it up to cut me off, make out like it never.
Look at his. Look, did you see his fucking hair? His fucking hair? I did not know he had long hair. No homo, maybe a little homo. Maybe a little homo. Maybe a tiny little bit of homo. Un poquito de homo. Which does mean a little homo. Let's see here. Was Jim Carrey funny? Or was it just the 90s? Let's do it. Let's do a little search.
He's a very talented and funny comedian. He starred in his own series last season called The Duck Factory, which was seen right here on this very network. He will be appearing in person with Rodney Dangerfield at the Universal Amphitheater in Los Angeles on August 13th and 14th. Please welcome Jim Carrey.
Well, I'm real happy to be here in New York, you know. I always try to adjust myself to my surroundings. That's why when I'm in New York, I'm never afraid because I know how to communicate with the street people. Hey, buddy. Do you find it unusually windy today? Now, I'm very flexible, too, which is good, because if I get tired of this body, I can just slip into Sammy Davis Jr.'s.
Here we go. It sounds something like this. Oh my God. Oh my God, no. Funny, huh? First off, this is racist. Get it? Because his eye. Again, was he funny or was it the 90s? This is what the research we're doing here, folks.
Thank you. I'd like to go way back now.
Get it?
You know, I think I've probably spent most of my life staring in the mirror. I have. But I'm not vain, you see, because I don't stare at myself. I stare at Leonid Brezhnev.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand.
Clint Eastwood.
Just fucking. This fucking. It sounds a little something like this.
Michael Landon smiling.
Cody says, I can't take this. I gotta go. I don't blame you, sir, but we're watching it.
James Dean.
Here's James Dean. Here we go. Remember James Dean? Is that a good James Dean? I don't even know. Is that a good James Dean?
E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
That's not.
Charles Nelson Riley, the Extraterrestrial.
Oh wait, let's see him talk to Letterman.
I thought you were terrific on that program, also Duck Factory.
The Duck Factory.
Yeah. Was that a lot of fun to do?
That was a great deal of fun to do. I loved it. Jack Guilford was especially fun to work with.
Yeah. It was a nice idea, nice show.
Yeah,
Is it difficult to do all of that stuff with your face? I know that sounds like a jerky question, but is it...
Well, not considering I don't know how to do anything else, so I do that all day long. I mean, that's what I do. You know, so I suppose if I wanted to, I could go into a different line like sales or something. You know, I could be a salesman.
Sure.
An insurance salesman.
Yeah.
Can
I don't know what the Duck Factory is. Does somebody know what that is?
Can I do my pitch for it?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, this would be my pitch. Hi, Jim Carrey. David Letterman? Yeah. I sell embarrassment insurance.
Oh, good.
That type of thing I could do.
Yeah, you could do that pretty well. Yeah. Now, do you ever, of course, you're a very young man, but do you ever worry about injuring yourself or getting old or any of that? You're very physical.
Yeah, a lot of people say, you know, you're going to get old, you're going to lose the physicality and that.
What the fuck is this? Hold on. Apparently the Duck Factory was a TV show? Are we going to have to do this on Friday? I've never heard of this. This is news to me.
Hollywood. So great.
Is this news for everybody here or just me?
One, two, three, whip. Thing with the drop it.
I'm okay. I'm fine. Just had a pain in my side. Oh. What's he got in here? Money?
Something I can do for you?
Well, I'm here to see Mr. Winkler.
Oh. There you go. Oh, easy. Come on, Brooks, are you okay? I don't know if they'll open it up again just for you. Lift it higher.
Is there a laugh track? Look, laugh tracks are bad. But if you're going to have a laugh track, I don't mind if it's in front of I mean, I do mind. I don't like it either way. But if it's in front of a studio audience, fine. But when they add a laugh track to a show where it's clearly not in front of an audience, like, why are they doing that?
Everybody ready?
Most folks think that it's a strange occupation. Some folks call us a deranged aggregation. We can't help it. We're just happy this way.
Mama always wanted me to be your physician.
Dad said he'd rather I become a beautician, but we can't help it. We're just happy this way. 'Cause it sure beats working for a living, but it ain't much of a living these days. Yeah, it sure beats working for a living. We're just happy this way.
This might just be a new intro for Daywave.
Okay, back to work. It's nobody famous. It's nobody famous. Oh, that thing is heavy. Sad day, isn't it?
I'll say.
Did you know Buddy Long?
No. No, I never even met him. See, I sent him some cartoon samples from Duluth, you know, some storyboards and stuff. And he wrote back and said that maybe if I came to Hollywood, he might be able to find some kind of job for me.
And you came all the way out here to find this?
I don't even know where I'm going to stay.
That's tough luck.
On the other hand, compared to Buddy, his luck's pretty good.
The laugh track. The goddamn laugh track. And this isn't Jim Carrey doing Jim Carrey comedy. This is just like, hey, this is a handsome fucking guy. Let's give him a show and see what happens.
Of course, then again, old Bud's got a place to stay tonight. He's a writer.
Why was Mr. Winkler lying in state in there?
Aggie thought it was appropriate that he stay at the duck factory, right up to the end.
Okay, what do you say? Let's roll.
She seems to be holding up well. Who? Aggie over there, Mrs. Winkler.
Aggie isn't Mrs. Winkler. Aggie's the business manager.
Well, then which one is Mrs. Winkler?
I gotta go.
Andrea, are you coming?
Wouldn't miss it.
It's nice meeting you. Come on.
Hi.
I'm gonna skip ahead here. Maybe the funny part gets here at some point.
And I'll go over to Disney. I hear they've got a great medical plan. And he turned the hose on me.
Your turn.
Who, me?
Good choice.
I grew up with the message that Mr. Winkler, through Dippy Duck, of course, sent to the youth of America. That no matter how many times Dippy was flattened by Irving the Terrible, or kicked in the teeth by Rotten Ronaldo.
Duck Factory is an American sitcom produced by MTM Enterprises. It aired on NBC April 12th through July 11th, 1994. It was Jim Carrey's first leading role in the Hollywood production. The show was set in a small independent animation studio and was co-created by Alan Burns and Herbert Klein. Burns had started his career as a writer for The Rocky and Bullwinkle Show and George of the Jungle before turning live action and co-creating The Mary Tyler Moore Show. Duck Factory lasted 13 episodes. It premiered April 12th, 1984. It was directed by whatever. The episodes of Duck Factory were shown out of the producer's intended to order by NBC, leading to significant continuity problems. Oh, they were shown out of order. Okay. Most notably, the 8th episode in which Skip is promoted to being the producer of the Dippy Duck Show. Much of the resentment of the show's staff was shown in episode 2 as broadcasting. Okay, so basically, I mean, they fucked this show from the beginning. I mean, they were showing it out of order, so they did kind of fuck the show from out of the beginning.
That somehow his good old-fashioned American gumption would always prevail. So even as I stand here on this sad occasion, that philosophy fills me with hope, knowing that you will pick yourselves up after being kicked in the teeth by his death. Dust yourselves off and face whatever the future brings.
The kid is running for something.
The Duck Factory.
Buddy would have loved this. Boy, we should do this more often. In fact, I want you to all come up to Casa Contento for some food and drinks, okay?
Okay, that's nice.
Thanks.
Well, great. Then I'll see y'all there.
Anybody ever been to Buddy's house? Anybody know where the hell it is?
Oh, I was there a couple of times, but it was so dark I don't think I could find it again.
Then how are we going to get there?
Follow that car!
Yeah, man, this is just a show that they just gave to Jim Carrey. But he's not being Jim Carrey, right? Like, this isn't typical. This isn't typical Jim Carrey humor, if you will.
Whoa! Look at that.
Guido Hatzies was huge here. A character from a late-night radio show. Like a Frank Hassel prank caller.
Put the ad in the paper for the plumber?
Yeah, that's right.
Matter, I will take the job, all right?
Yeah.
Now we need to talk about the money, all right? Matter, how much you prepared to pay me?
Depends how good you are.
Matter, I'm the best, all right? I learned from my uncle. You listen to me?
Yeah.
Man.
I'll check it out. Didn't Larry the Cable Guy start out as one of those one of those callers for like Bob and Tom. Was it Bob and Tom? That's where Larry the Cable Guy got his start, right? Sorry, I'm just pulling something up. That's where he got his start. He would call in as Larry the Cable Guy, like doing a bit or whatever, and then he blew up, right? Let me see here, because there was a few people, like Jimmy Kimmel started on doing as a sports guy. Larry the Cable Guy. Yeah. Whitney started his career in radio in the early 1980s when he made regular radio appearances on nationally syndicated program The Ron and Ron Show, as well as other shows such as The Bob and Tom Show, The Chris Baker Show, The Todd and Tyler Show in Omaha, as well as the Mark and Lopez Morning Show in Baltimore, Maryland. He's also a frequent guest of the Johnny Dare Morning Show. He also appeared on the WJRR. Oh, that's Monsters in the Morning, Florida. He was brought to New England on Greg and the Morning Buzz. So basically, he started out calling in. Gotta give him credit, man. I don't care for Larry the Cable Guy's comedy, but the guy fucking worked it. You got to give him that. You got to give him that. He worked it. It really was just good for him, man. You know, Adam Carolla got to start doing call in on K-Rock. That's right, he did. I guess you don't have that anymore, right? Because there's there's not local radio. You're not going to make stars anymore calling into local radio shows. At least stay true to his roots stay true toward his roots more than Ron White did. Oh yeah, I mean if you watch his stand up, if you watch Larry the Cable Guy stand up, when he's not being Larry the Cable Guy, I mean, it is completely different.
Who's been to Disney World? Anybody been to Disney World? Haven't it? So hot, isn't it? Disney World. So you're walking around Disney World, you don't care where you're going after a while as long as it's got air conditioning, you know. Let's go in here, honey. What is it? It's the history of socks. Who gives a crap? It's got air conditioning. Man, sweating like a basketball player at a college entrance exam. Weird thing happened to me last Sunday. I'm watching America's Most Wanted. All of a sudden, my dad got up real fast, turned the channel, shaved his beard off. Caught me up in phone sex, too. He goes, hey, wait till I tell your mother what you've been doing. I said, hold on, I'll let you talk to her.
Pretty different, huh? Pretty different. And then he just stayed Larry the Cable Guy. That became his persona. I wonder if he's done any interviews outside of being Larry the Cable Guy, or he's just stayed in that thing forever. I really do wonder. He has a plane. He's fucking loaded. Yeah, there is no Dan. Only Larry. Only Larry. No, but has he done interviews as Dan Whitney?
I should make fun of old folks. I'll be old one day. Sucks getting old.
A lot of people might not realize is you don't have a Southern accent. How easily can you go in and out of it?
I can get into it easily, and I'm like I'm a linguist chameleon. I mean, I'll go to Wisconsin and I'll hang out with my cousin. Next thing you know, 2 days later, I'm talking like I'm from, Sorona, Wisconsin, because all my cousins talk like that. La Crosse, hey, let's go to La Crosse. I just pick stuff up. My dad was a backwoods preacher, so my dad had a little bit of Southern accent in him. He'd get to going, and school became school, and so he had a little bit of that in him. His family, they're all from northeast Kansas, and they were all horse people and cattle, that kind of stuff. So they had a little twinge, but when I moved to Florida is when I got it, because I was a country kid living in the country, loved livestock, and I gravitated to all the horse people, all the livestock people when I moved to Florida.
Yeah, those ear hairs are pretty crazy.
Out in Loxahatchee, Florida, and there's a bunch of country folks out in Loxahatchee. And I just gravitated to them, and I went to college in Georgia. I went to a Baptist college in Georgia.
And that's, so he has done interviews outside of the Larry the Cable Guy persona. Good for him, though. Like, I mean, begrudge the guy. He found something that fucking worked for him. Loxahatchee, though. Jesus. Loxahatchee, Florida. He's worth over $100 million, folks. Over $100 million. Guys, thank you for listening. I hope you had as much fun as I did today. I'll be back with ROTC in 4 hours. Hopefully you're there. And if you're not, that's fine. I'll see you tomorrow, though, for Daywave. Be there. Or be square. Or be gay. I don't care. I hope all of you have a fantastic, wonderful, and fruitful Daywave. Bye. Bye.
My pocket needs some money so I can go into town. My brother isn't working and my sister doesn't care. The car, she needs a motor so I can go anywhere. Mañana, mañana, mañana is good enough for me. My mother's always working, she's working very hard. But every time she looks for me, I'm sleeping in the yard. My mother thinks I'm lazy and maybe she's right. I've gotta work mañana, but I gotta sleep tonight. Mañana, mañana, mañana is good enough for me. Oh, once I had some money, but I gave it to my friend. He said he'd pay me double, it was only for a lane. But he said a little later that the horse, she was so slow. Why he gave the horse my money is something I don't know. Mañana, mañana, mañana is good enough for me.